Hi, I'm your host, Rickey Booker. Welcome back to a brand new season in the kitchen with the Breakfast Brothers.
It's time to get on up and whip it up with them Breakfast Brothers. It's time to get on up and whip it up with them Breakfast Brothers. Yeah, it's time to get on up and stir it up. It's time to get on stir it up and whip it up. Yeah, it's time to get on up.
Hi, welcome to U.S. Food Immersion Event. Today, I'm actually a guest speaker on the educational stage. Man, I'm real excited about being on this platform. This is my first time. So everybody, I want you to enjoy 2024 U.S. Food Immersion Event.
All right, well, Rickey, thank you for being here. This is Rickey Booker. He's got Breakfast Brothers. Excuse me, good seeing you, Rickey, right? Now, Rickey, you and I know we've known each other about 4 years now, right?
Right.
Started way back when. And so I want to start with that. So tell me, now I want to go back further. I don't want to start 2021, I want to start 2017.
Okay.
If you didn't know this, Rickey Jeff relocated, which is a pretty big deal. If you haven't been to his restaurant here recently, but it's really good. But let's start with the origins. What happened in 2017?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. This platform I never thought I would ever be able to be on, because I watched it at different events, food events for a while, for the last 4 or 5 years. So thank you guys, thank U.S. Foods for having me. But Breakfast Brothers was designed to sell food behind a nightclub. So we had a little bitty, we call it the Little Black Shack. We had a little black food trailer that we bought in East Texas, and we stationary it behind our nightclub. And that's where it started in 2017. And had a small menu, and at the time we were just trying to feed, people want to have food after the nightclub or during the nightclub, so that's where we started. Had a small menu, and people started lining up at that trailer till the sun came up. So that's where it started at. And we invited the fried wings, catfish, pork chops, fried foods that's good for you at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
So now that happened, right? And then you decided to open a brick and mortar. That's kind of when you and I met, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about, you've been doing this for 4 years now, and you built this, and tell me a little bit about the process and what you've learned the last 4 years.
So now you're cheating, Scott. So I want to go from the little black trailer into it, then we get to 2021. So 2017 through 2020, I need to know that the city actually shut that trailer down. That trailer, my sound guy got my earplug kind of messed up. So, all right, there we go. So 2017 through 2020, I wanted to design Breakfast Brothers in every nightclub. So I went and talked to an owner that had a club for 35, 40 years, and he had a kitchen in it. And so I sold them on having Breakfast Brothers inside, so I subleased and brought Breakfast Brothers inside, and it took off. So we were selling Breakfast Brothers inside another nightclub. Then the vice president of RCI called me and asked me, he wanted the same concept in all of his clubs, and they had commercial kitchens in their clubs. So I set up in Fort Worth, Abilene, Odessa, San Antonio, and the Dallas area as well, and got going, and it was a success. It was a hit. Pandemic hit, shut it all down. So, in that transition, I knew we had a brand, and we had people wanted the food. It was good food. And at that time, we was just cooking food, buying food, and selling food. Didn't know anything else about the business, prime cost labor, or any of that. So, in that part, pandemic shut everything down, so I was at home sitting, trying to figure it out, wanting people to get the food. So I started studying the delivery service, the third-party delivery, because my girlfriend started doing, what was the name, man, where you buy your groceries and they deliver it? Instacart. I was like, man, what are you doing? That's kind of dangerous, taking people. No, you just drive. I said, okay, I'm gonna go with you. One day I went with her and I seen a concept. I said, wait a minute. So I thought about it and I said, what if I had a food truck and I start going around the city? So we end up finding a food truck. I'm kind of windy, but I like telling my story so everybody knows. And I found a food truck that was sitting. This food truck was brand new. Don't even look like it was used. Owned by Benchmark. And if anybody knows who Benchmark is the high-end real estate company. So this guy was the CEO CFO, he was out in East Texas on his ranch, and at the time it was at a commissary park. So I had the general manager call him during pandemic, trying to negotiate to buy that truck. The guy wasn't trying to hear it. Oh man, we're not selling that thing. That cost us $135,000. I was like, ooh, I ain't doing that. Don't have that kind of money. Matter of fact, I don't even know what kind of money I had. So we ended up negotiating. That guy liked me so much, I bugged the hell out of him for 3 months. And he liked me, and to this day, I still know Brian, still has his number. He literally gave that truck to us for 50 grand. They didn't need it, so it started from there and it grew. Now we're in 2021. And South Arlington, I call it a little engine that could.
Yeah, that's right.
Have 8 tables, and we designed those 8 tables to move as fast as G5 jet. And we opened up there, and everybody got wind of it, and it's been history since.
Yeah, y'all done really, really well.
Yes.
And it's a trial and error during that time, for sure.
A lot.
Yeah, so let's go back to that question. What have you learned over the last 4 years? What have you learned in this new realm as far as working with?
The one thing that I learned, which was the number one thing was I had to learn to quit working in the business and learn how to work on the business.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And so, cause all I was doing, I cooked in the kitchen 7 days a week. Balls to the wall, going back and forth to Restaurant Depot, picking up food. and all I found myself, money coming in, money going out. Like, I didn't understand that concept. And I tell anybody that's in this room that's an entrepreneur, the one thing, if you're ready to be a business owner, I know I'm kind of getting to that point of closing, but we got a little bit more things that we're going to talk to. If you're ready to pay your employees and staff maybe a week, 2 weeks, or however you set up your payroll, and watch them get paid every pay period, and you don't as an owner, then you're an entrepreneur if you're ready for that part of it. Because you pay everybody else and they do the same amount of work as you do, or you maybe do more than they do, and you still not getting a paycheck. That was the plan that I was on, me and my other brother, for 3 years almost. To finally we say, wait a minute, something ain't right about this. So US Foods, when they taught me to be a partner, I wanted to know everything about, if I give you $1, what are you going to give me? And that's when I met Scott, free restaurant consultant. And I wore him out.
You did work it out. That was okay. It was all good stuff.
Yeah, I wore him out. They say it was free, but I'm gonna tell you this: ain't nothing free in the world. I was still cutting US Food checks every time I order my food, so ain't nothing free. But it was a pleasure, and everything he told me to do, I did it. It was a little bit confusing. I had to educate myself on that, and once I did, it started working itself out, and I started understanding what prime cost was, what labor was waste, what the waste was, and it all started making sense. Because when I grew up in school, my favorite course was mathematics. I had algebra 1, 2, trig, so I was real smart in mathematics. Once I learned the numbers and how it worked, I said, oh, okay, and I stopped cooking. I stopped working in the kitchen and start working on the business.
And that's what makes a big difference. I mean, Keith and I talk about this all the time. It's great, right? You can own the restaurant, but if you're working in it, you'll never grow it. You got to get out of it. You got to really, you got to train your people and teach your people to be really good. Yeah. Right?
There's another saying. You got to be at the table, not on the menu.
That's right. 100%. 100%.
Ricky, you want some fans out here?
You do some fans.
I got a few, but they're around me every day, so I told them if they don't clap and say anything. Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, stranger. No, but
We've got here now, right? You've grown, we've got that. So talk a little bit about your relationship with US Foods. We kind of alluded to it a little bit, but talk a little bit about the relationship between us and what we've been able to do to help you with your business during that time and continuing to do so.
Yeah. It was another transition that I started trying to figure out on, rebates. You know, we call them comps, kickbacks. I'm figuring out how to my money make me money. So when I started getting on that course, U.S. Foods became a partner. You know, keep it real, U.S. Food is a $30 billion business. They all across the country. Why do they have to sit down and talk to Rickey and Little Breakfast Brothers in Dallas? So they have a team of people that came and educated me on MDAs, on how to make your dollar make a dollar. And you heard this saying, you can pay individuals to run your business in the ground, or you can pay individuals to run your business the proper way and productive way to where it's profitable. U.S. Food got a team of people across the country that they pay to help others make their business profitable. They help me, educate me. But the smart thing is about it, they're a $30 billion company because they invested in the people to help partner with us to make money. So they made them $30 billion. I'm gonna go off course real quick. Everybody know who Oprah is, right? What did Oprah do to make herself a billionaire? She made her own TV show and got 30 million women to like her. And 1 million men to watch her because the 30 million women was watching her. So I'm gonna say 31 million people every time bought into her, made her a millionaire. So just being nice, she gave away gifts when she started to these women across the country, across the United States. And she may cost her whatever it cost her on her finances, on her P&L. 30 million women started loving her and started creating a concept and helping her build her brand because she was nice to 31 million people. Million men and 30 million women. So U.S. Food learned how to partner with individuals that want to listen and want to learn instead of staying on the cook line and cooking in the kitchen. And once you get out of the cook line and find you an individual that help you start understanding and get educated, U.S. Food educated me on how to do that. So they've been a real good partner and instrumental on helping me understanding how this food business works. You know, I come from the entertainment world. I had some of the hottest rap artists. I come from the custom car world. I used to do custom auto for individuals, NFL athletes, celebrities, all of that. That's all cool. I made a living. But what I really knew how to do and I loved to do was cook. I know how to cook. So the point I'm getting to this too, and I'm gonna get back and finalize the question. When I managed these rap artists, I couldn't rap. I couldn't produce the music for them. I knew how to build them as a brand, but if that rap artist didn't want to rap and the producer didn't want to make the music anymore, I was sitting and waiting on them. So in my custom auto shop, if the auto guy or the paint guy or the wheel guy didn't want to work or they quit on me, I got to find somebody else to do it because I was a salesman. I knew how to sell those products. But the one thing about Breakfast Brothers, if any of my managers call me and tell me a cook is acting up and he have to leave, I can go right in the cook line and cook. If a server don't want to work, I can go serve and help tables. If the inventory guy he quit, I can order the trucks to get the food there and never miss a beat. So the one thing that I took course to is if I knew how to do everything in the building, I didn't have to wait on nobody. And everybody that deal with me from any vendor and even U.S. Food know, if I call you, I need it, I want it, you make it happen. Because Breakfast Brothers ain't waiting on me and they ain't waiting on U.S. Foods. So once we got comfortable and they understood that concept, they became great partners.
Yep. And you've been a great partner too. I mean, really, it's been easy to work with. We've learned a lot from you. You learned a lot from us, and I think that's really what a true partnership looks like when we talk with our customers and we want to build those long-term relationships, right? All right, so here's my final question before we get into it. So, and you kind of alluded to it earlier. You know, there's some new restaurateurs in here. Maybe some people are hanging around, some people that own restaurants. What's your advice to those new restaurateurs who are trying to break into the business? What would be your advice, knowing what you've been through the last 4 years?
The world and society we're in now is I call it the social media world. You got the Gen X and you got the millennium, to where you have to understand what your menu, what you like, and what you cook. And the best thing is you have children, they have friends, and they coming over your house all the time, and you're the cook, and they love your food. Well, that's what you need to start your menu with. Find your menu, find out what it is that can adapt to your customer base, and that's where you start. But if you're not a cook and you're trying to design a concept, and somebody designing it with, and they're the cook, if they decide to leave, now you're back at square one. It goes back to what I said early on in the conversation. I knew how to do everything. So design the menu to see what's going to work, and then you have to sell it to your core customer base. And what I mean by sell it, social media is free. You got to learn how to put it out there where people see your product and your brand, and they'll come. It's almost a niche. You know, people say create the hype, and when they come, make sure the hype is what they see. Because if that's not the case, then it's just hype.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that because Keith, you and I talk a lot. We talk a lot of business, and they start with a concept before they can start with it. And it's like totally backwards. The food's what's matter. That's what brings them in. The people are the ones that keep them coming in.
That's right.
They get there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, Ricky, I want to explore something you mentioned earlier, and we kind of got off on Oprah for a minute, but I think that's an important concept to just take in. I mean, you had a great vision, you had a good plan, you knew what you loved and what people wanted, and that's all very important in this business. But I think you hit on something I didn't want to delay over. It's really important, and that's whether it's our U.S. Foods customers, your restaurants, your customers, or our customers. I think it's that taking the time to invest in other people. It sounds like that's what you've done along the way.
Right.
You know, backstage we were talking a little bit. We have some friends that we didn't realize we had.
Right, absolutely.
And I think that's a good example. Tell us a little bit about how you've invested in your people, or you said you changed instead of working in your business, working on your business. Can you unpack that a little bit for us? What that looks like?
First I'm gonna start here. You know, sometimes people get a little bashful because they don't want to bring the Christianity or Christ into it. First, God invested in me.
Yeah.
So my vision is created from Him, so I just follow the direction of what He gives me. So from that point on it, the aspect is, it's just like all my management team is here. To create great leaders, they have to see what I've seen. You know, it's crazy. This may be simple to people that come to food conferences every year in Vegas, Chicago for the National Restaurant Association, and your employees and staff never get to see those things. Because maybe you can't afford for the travel, you can't afford that, but if it's local, then of course I open the doors to where I try to give any perks that Breakfast Brothers have, I try to give them to the management team to build the morale of being leaders. Because if they're happy about working at Breakfast Brothers, they're happy to come. It's like Breakfast Brothers is first day of school to me. You know, in first day of school, you were like, man, I'm gonna see Sarah today. You lay your clothes out, the shoes you're gonna wear and all that. You happy the first day of school. And then after a couple weeks, it's school then. Breakfast Brothers is first day of school to me every day.
I kind of like that.
Every day. So when I was hiring, I was going through staff and over and over and over being repetitive, people leaving, people coming. I said, man, something's wrong. So I started studying other restaurant chains, you know, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out Burger, and you know, these are fast food chains. So I wanted a dine-in fast food concept. So some of the things I don't never say I'll copy it, but I take it and I create my own concept on it. So to keep an employee, I said, well, first they have to figure out where Breakfast Brothers come from. It's like we started in 2017, a little trailer. So we started an orientation now. You get hired at Breakfast Brothers, you have a 2-week orientation. Onboarding, you go watch videos, you see how Breakfast Brothers first started, you see where it came from. And we have one training system. So if you're a cook, you train at one location for 2 weeks until you report to the location that you're gonna work at. So they appreciate the concept way before, and they really see where Breakfast Brothers come from instead of just being a paycheck. I know everybody, biggest motivator is money, but first of all, if you can create a family around a whole empire, what you want to call it, they appreciate it more.
And I think that's a real important point. Investing in your people, creating that culture, that family of what you're about, and how that looks with your people to your guests and
Right.
your customers. I think that's really what makes you Breakfast Brothers, what's made it successful for you the last few years.
Right.
So I think that's to me, that's the biggest takeaway. when we leave the stage here in a few minutes, Scott,
Right.
is just a reminder that what we're trying to do and what you're trying to do in your restaurant. I know the restaurateurs here and owners and managers, that's what we strive for. I think that's a great thing to remember is to take that back to your businesses, take that, invest in your people, and kind of build that culture, that story.
Right.
You know, the cool thing about this, though, Ricky, you're not the first store that's come out like this. We've seen, and we've seen a lot of people try and not get there, and you actually got it. That's the great thing about your story. And we're really cool. But you don't do that without a group of people. And I know you got let me hear you guys out there. I know we got a group of people all right? So you want to thank those that are helping you out.
Yeah, I said this before, you know, before when I first started, I did everything. Cook, paperwork, order the deal. So now God has blessed us. Everybody stand up. This the management team of Breakfast Brothers. Stand up. You got 1, 2. You got about 13 people that used to. I used to do what all of them they do now. You know, before each concept, I started figuring out if I made $1, I need to figure out how to use it. So Yolanda, I found at Southwest Airlines Credit Union. I forget what they call it when you go take somebody from the corporate world. And I recruited her, and she's the director of operations. And all of those things and those pieces of puzzles I needed because Breakfast Brothers was moving so fast. And I appreciate you guys for listening to me and watching me chunk a pot across the kitchen or kicking a trash can over, dealing with me to get where we are now. I really appreciate you guys. It wouldn't be no me or Breakfast Brothers without y'all. So thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like I just thought of seeing your team stand up here. What popped in my head is we is better than me.
Yep.
And so I think investing in your people is a big takeaway for me. We may not have prepped you well enough, but as we wrap up the conversation, we always want to have 1 or 2 key takeaways. So whoever's listening happens to hopefully take something really positive. And so I would ask you, for the U.S. Foods folks here today, as a customer, as a successful restaurateur, what would you want our guys to hear? What's one single message? And then maybe for the other restaurateurs and operators in the room, what's one thing you would like for them to take away from your own experiences? And Scott, you wrap it up for us and bring us home.
Well, I would tell everyone that's in here today is build partnerships. And it starts with your banker. I can pick up the phone and call my banker on his cell phone. I can pick up the phone and call my produce company and call the head of the chain on my phone. I didn't have any of those things, so I started figuring out how to get partners. If you don't have a partner in your business, I'm not saying that it's not gonna work, but you have to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody because the success comes from what you do, how you do it, and who's talking about your business in rooms that you're not in. But the rooms that you're not in, they're talking about your business because you develop these partners to talk for you. And they'll sell your story to those points. So once you get out of being take a number and sit down and wait for a personal banker, then you're in the area. So when you go to wherever bank you go to, ask for the branch manager. They may have 100 branches in Dallas, but I go to that same branch that I met that branch manager. And Corey Gillespie at Truist is my friend. He gave me a cell phone. I talked to him. Matter of fact, I talked to him just now. But develop partnerships with people. And I just want y'all to know partnerships is better than any check can write you at any time, because when you got a partnership, people take care of you and you take care of them. And there's one more person I want to give my appreciation to. Courtney P, stand up. Everybody, this guy right here, he owns Maji Water. He has his own water company, True pH 9 Alkaline Water, right in Oak Cliff. And I got a private label with him, and we sell a lot of that water. And I tell you this too, no matter what concept you have, Hispanic, white, black, whatever culture, you believe in it, no matter what nobody say. The one thing that people tell me is, Ricky, you can't do that. that's like putting fuel on the fire for me, because I'm going to do it. So I just want y'all to take in everybody's story, and every man and every woman's journey is different. But once you grab hold to it, stay on to it, because, man, I tell you, whenever you love what you do and it seems easy, God is in the driver's seat. All you got to do is just listen to him and pay attention. Because no matter what, I pay it forward all the time. People ask me, how do you talk to your competition? I said, well, restaurants ain't my competition. Those are my friends. What God got in store for Breakfast Brothers is already in motion. So whatever I help share my story to individuals is not taken away from me. So I just want y'all to know partnerships is very important. Learn your business, work on your business, and quit working in the business.
All right, so first of all, Rickey, thank you for coming and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Breakfast Brothers out in Dallas there. Make sure you drop by, say hi, get some good food, some great service, right, ladies? You got great service out there. Let them take care of you. And if I give you one last thing, this is we like to talk to Rickey and other customers, just kind of show you how we help out our customers. We're passionate about this business. Anybody that says you're in this business, we want you to succeed. We want you to show up big, and we want to grow with you. Just keep in mind, this is just one story of many that we've got with customers, and we're glad you to share their secrets with us today.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. With that, Keith, I think we're down to Rock and Conquer today.
Come see us right down here at the Moxie Check Business Tools booth. We're more than happy to talk to you about your business.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
One more thing, Rickey. I just have to say, first of all, thank you.
You're welcome.
But I do think it's worth mentioning that this year you guys hosted the first annual Southern Taste of Dallas Awards.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yeah, not we, you guys.
Yeah.
I just came to have fun. So I just wanted to give a second to say, I think it's incredible how you pour back.
I want to talk about that real fast.
Yeah, you talk about
Brittany, stand up. This is actually, she came up with the concept. It's called Southern Taste of Dallas Awards. And we wanted a platform to where we have restaurants, which they call BOB, Black-owned businesses, and to have platforms where they can win awards. So we created, and we do it at the Kessler Theater is every July the 18th, and we're getting ready to kick off and start everything. U.S. Food was a sponsor and other sponsors, and it was a hit, and we loved it. And I just want to tell y'all, every culture matters. I tell people this, Breakfast Brothers is black owned, but it's not black only. It's for everybody. And sometimes we take that out of context. It has nothing to do with racism. I want y'all to understand that it's a business, and we love to make people and individuals happy. This last person I want to introduce real quick, some people. Stand up, Kevin and his wife. This is Charles Ray Coffee Company. They have their own brewing coffee, and this is him and his wife and their coffee company. We're getting ready to partner up and start selling their coffee too. But they're a couple, and they're doing a great job. They got a real. One day, you guys, this year the Southern Taste Awards, we're gonna tell y'all a story. They got a story, history of family goes all the way back to the 1900s. But got a great brand, and the coffee is amazing. Thank you guys too.
Thank you. It's my favorite. I never miss an opportunity to highlight others.
Yeah.
That's a real marketable leader. So thank you guys.
All
I
right.
appreciate all three of you for entertaining us and giving us some education and just talking about life with us today. So thanks, guys.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, Paige.
All right, folks.